Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, I talked to the school, and I don't think that my kids will be going to this school next year if I stay in Tracy. Why, you might ask? Because I feel like this school does not take nothing serious. Like, so I had already told you guys that there was an incident with, I told you guys this morning, there was an incident with Marshawn and him being sick. So, or him having, like, him coughing excessively. That can be an indication that he's, one, that he got a cold. Two, that he has, his asthma is acting up. So, I called the school and I said, well, I was informed by Marshawn that yesterday and the day before, he told his teacher that he was coughing and he needed to call me. I said, Marshawn has severe asthma. Is that something that's noted into his medical thing? I said it should be because he's had it since he was fucking 2. So I told her, I said, well, it should be because he has asthma and he's had asthma since he was 2 years old. I said, so there's no reason why it would not be noted in his medical, because I do all his medical stuff. So she goes, okay. And I said, he needs to call me. I said, if he is coughing, he could be having an asthma attack. Well, does he have an inhaler at the school? I said, no, he does not have an inhaler at the school because he was actually in between doctors when school started, and he was in the process of getting an inhaler for school from his old doctor. Now the new doctor, I have to contact her and see what's going on with that, because he is supposed to have an inhaler for school. So she goes, well, this is none of the office's concern. You have to let his teacher know this. I said, excuse me? I said, it is the school's concern when you have a child that has asthma and requires breathing machines, like he has a nebulizer. I said, and he has a controller. He has a controller inhaler. I said, and he has a regular inhaler. I said, so it is the school's concern, because if my child has an asthma attack due to y'all negligence, then y'all would be getting sued. Well, have you emailed the teacher? I said, I have emailed the teacher, which I didn't, but at that time I did not. So I said, yes, I have. And they said, okay, well, try emailing her again. And if there's no resolution to it, then call us back. Okay, cool, bet. My kids most likely will not be attending your school next year. I'm not playing these games with my kids, especially with a child that's that sick. So I got off the phone with her. I left a message for the district medical whatever lady, lady, whatever it was. I left their department a message. So hopefully they'll get back to me. If they don't get back to me today, I'm gonna call and leave another message. Like, I'm not playing games with you. So I emailed the teacher and I told her, I said, hey, Miss So-and-so, this is Marshawn's mom. I'm pretty sure you know who this is. Like, Marshawn informed me that he was coughing at school and you refused to send him to the office. Marshawn does have severe asthma to the point where I need to be contacted. So whenever he is coughing and or if he comes to you and tells you that he's coughing a lot and he needs to call me, allow him to call me. I said, if you notice that he's coughing too much, and struggling to catch his breath, let me know. I said, send him to the office and have him call me. I said, because he could be having an asthma attack. She said, she emailed me within 10 minutes of me sending this message. And I did tell her, I said, I just wanted you to be aware that he does have this medical condition. So she emails me back. She said, thank you so much for letting me know. She was like, I did not know that he had asthma. She was like, he didn't tell me that he was coughing a lot. I did notice that he was coughing, but it wasn't a lot. He said, but he did tell me that his throat was hurting. And I said, so she said, but I will have him definitely go to the office when I notice it, or when he, complains about it. I will let him go to the office to call you. And I said, okay. I said, thank you so much for your rapid response to my email. I said, I appreciate that. I said, also, Marshawn does have a history of just saying things just because he don't want to be in class. I said, if you notice that he's been fine all day long, has not been complaining about coughing, you haven't noticed him coughing, and all of a sudden he's just like, oh, I'm coughing, or it seems like he's just making it up to get out of class, do not send him to the office. She said, so she emailed me again and was like, oh yeah, I know. She was like, I tend to notice like when he's like not really feeling it. So, she was like, I don't send him out. She was like, so I know what you're saying. She was like, thank you for, letting me know that that he does be acting. And I said, yes, he does be act. I sent her an email back and said, yes, he does act sometimes just to get out. He's been playing this game since kindergarten. He's in first grade now. So he's played that game all the year long last year. And so I even had to tell his teacher at the other school, like, hey, like, he be playing, like, don't call me. Don't call me, because I'm not coming to get him. Now it does make sense last year when he would say that he had headaches because he wasn't wearing his glasses. And I did inform his teacher before at the teacher parent conference that he does wear glasses and he's supposed to wear them all the time. So sometimes, yes, he will get a headache because he does not have his glasses on. But that's about it. He shouldn't have a headache for nothing else. I did inform him that he does have like stomach pains. They don't know why my son is having stomach pains, but they need to figure out why my son is having stomach pains, because this is ridiculous. Yeah, and stomach cancer is real, and I'm not saying, I ain't putting that on